Let me ask you a question. Do you know who you are? Or are you just surviving of a version of yourself that just wants to be accepted? Now, there's a very simple question that I asked myself that made me put everything into perspective. What is normal? And then that made me realize normal for you might be different to what is normal to me. That might be different to what is normal to someone else. The reason that is different because it is very subjective, and normal is most of the time things that are being projected onto you from your family, from your friends, from your environment, that you want to live in alignment because you don't want to stand out. And I want you to imagine yourself as being a box. Now, in this box that you are, this is the shape that the way that you talk, the way that you walk, the way that you do things. Now, if you want to start doing things differently, your shape changes because now it's not the same. It's different. It starts to become a circle. Something deep inside of you is telling you that I want to do this, or I wish I could dress like this, or I wish I could talk like this. Now the question is, why aren't you? Because you're trying to live in approval of what people have made you to be. There's this image, the way that everyone sees you, that the moment you start acting differently, why are you acting differently? That's not quite like you. But most of the time, your choices weren't even yours to begin with. Most of the time, the reason you dress the way that you dress is because look at the closest people around you. You're a reflection of them. Now, have you ever sat down with yourself and asked yourself, what do I really want? And I remember for the first time when I sat down and I wanted to do something like this, I was like, this isn't normal. This is quite cringe. This is corny. But that is the thing. It is corny to them, but it isn't corny to you. But just because you want to feel accepted, you stop living the person who you're meant to be and you start living what others want you to be. And that's how you will live a very miserable life. And that's how I want you to question everything else that you do. Are you doing this for them or are you doing this for you? Now, most people think, oh, that's the most selfish thing that you can do because you're only thinking about yourself. No, the most selfish thing that you can do is never doing anything that you truly want and blaming them when you reach the age of 50, realizing that you regret all of your decisions because then you realize I didn't actually make any decisions. That's why the best thing that you can possibly do is challenge yourself. People that challenge you actually care about you. Why? Because growth is on the other side of discomfort. When was the last time you actually challenged yourself? Or are you always trying to fit into this box that everyone created for you? It is very uncomfortable, but that's why you need to ask yourself, am I doing what I truly want to do? And it's crazy because I remember I was just cleaning some plates. Now, I come from a background from two immigrant parents, and my dad had this tendency to always be resourceful. Now, why was my dad always resourceful? Because he's come from a background in Malaysia where there wasn't much things. They come from poverty where they had to be resourceful. So my dad, I completely understand that everything he would do was to be efficient, to be resourceful. So I adopted that mentality. But then I asked myself, why am I actually doing this? This belief was never my belief. I never questioned it. I just copied it because it was the closest thing to me. And I started to do this with other interests. Why do I like doing this? Well, I don't actually like doing this. But then I realized it's because I'm adopting the mentality of someone else. There is someone that you're inspired by, and the reason that you're inspired is because you see yourself in that person, but you're not there yet. And that's why most of the time you feel tired, you feel low energy. You don't feel tired because you're doing too much. You feel tired because you're actually doing too little of the things that you actually care about, because you're afraid of standing out. You're afraid of calling this attention. And that's why one of the best quotes from one of my favorite movies, Coach Carter, it says that our deepest fear is not that we're inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. And I didn't realize, I didn't understand this. I didn't understand what it actually meant. What it means is the moment you actually start to do what you truly want and start living your true, authentic self, that's when you become very dangerous, because you don't care about anyone else. Not in the sense that, oh, I don't care about you, I don't care if you die. No, no, no. You don't care about anyone else's opinions. And that's when you become super, super dangerous. Why? Because you're truly being free. That's what freedom is. And the moment you are free, people start to feel very insecure because everyone is trying to live in these boxes that were created for them. And they start to feel very insecure because they feel the energy that you emit. Have you ever been around someone that has fully grown or has fully focused on one thing, and they just grow, and you just feel the energy of confidence that this person emits? Why? Because they truly believe in themselves. And that's one thing that I love about humans, that out of all species, we have the ability to learn, focus, adapt, and grow. We're not like an animal, and that's how most people live. Most people live like animals with the lowest consciousness, with no awareness. They live just, I'm hungry, I'm hungry, I'm tired, I'm tired. I need to go to work, I need to go to work. Everything is just reactive. There's no thought behind it. There's no discernment behind anything. And this is the gift that we have as humans, to actually think. And you are not thinking. That's why I want you to challenge yourself. Oh, I don't normally do this. Why? What if I do it? Oh, I didn't die. Actually, I discovered a new part of me that I didn't ever realize. And this is the beauty of humans. And that's why there's pilots. That's why there's, I don't know, architects. That's why there's I don't know, doctors. Because they specialized in one thing. They kept on challenging themselves and they grew. No one was born a doctor. No one was born a pilot. You can choose where you want to go. And that's what your identity is. Most people's identities is just a copy and paste of everyone around them. What is your identity? Most people just wake up at the age of 50 realizing, I made no choices. I just existed. Same day on loop every single day. The moment you try to break the pattern, the moment you try to change the box to a circle, oh, this isn't really like me. Let me go back to a box because it feels uncomfortable. I want to give you an illustration of a thermostat. Your identity is like a thermostat. The temperature that it's set on. Now, normally when you set up a thermostat when it's especially cold, you put it to quite high. So the whole idea is that there's an air conditioning or a heater. I don't know what, like whatever you want to call it, central heating. And whenever the temperature of the heater will just keep on warming up the room until it reaches a certain degree that the thermostat is set on. Then it just turns off. And then the moment the temperature goes down, it works back up. So it always wants to stay on this temperature. It doesn't always stay on that. Sometimes it'll go slightly lower, sometimes it'll go slightly higher, but it will always be roughly around there. That is what your identity is like. Your identity is the thermostat that is set on. The heater working, the air conditioning, the central heating, those are your actions. And the room temperature, they're your results. Now, sometimes it's slightly colder, but guess what? It warms up to go back to the thermostat, to your identity. This is the same thing. Most of the time, let me give you an example. I wasn't the most confident person. I thought it was always cringe going on camera. So I would occasionally get my camera, I record, and I think, no, this is cringe. Because in my identity, my thermostat, I had always said that it was cringe. Because your identity is this story that you believe about yourself. Then I asked myself, why is it cringe? This is the thing. This is when you find yourself, when you keep on asking yourself why, like children. When we're like children, we're malleable. But guess what? We end up developing this ego that we stop questioning ourselves because we just want to be accepted. And then I ask myself, why is it cringe? Oh, because everyone around me thinks it's cringe. Why do they think it's cringe? Oh, maybe because they tried and it failed. Or maybe because it looks weird. Maybe because it's not normal. Again, what is normal? Because there's someone out there doing content. That is normal. There is someone out there who's a pilot. That is normal. But for me, it is not normal because I haven't made it my normal until I made it my normal. So before that, you have to change the thermostat. I kept on recording. No, this is not like me. But then I said, why can't it be me? I want to be a content creator. I want to speak on camera. I want to be able to share messages like this. So what did I have to do? I had to change my thermostat. Because now, whenever I record camera, I will take out my camera, I'll start recording. That's the new temperature. That is my new identity. But identity isn't something set. It isn't a destination that I'm going to be on camera forever. Just the same thing like a thermostat. You can change it. And identity is a state of being. And what is being? It's actions that you continuously take. And that's why many people tell me, oh, how are you so disciplined? Or how do you do this? Or how do you become that? Well, a doctor doesn't stay a doctor forever. He can decide one day to say, you know what? I want to learn how to be an acrobat. And stop being a doctor, learn how to be an acrobat. And then all of a sudden, within years of repetition, he is now an acrobat. The same thing with you. I don't know what you're doing. In my case, if you were anything like me, I was working in retail, I was an Uber Eats delivery driver. Well, I could have stayed like that for the rest of my life and had the title of an Uber Eats delivery driver because that's what I was currently doing. I was being. But the moment I switched to creating content, speaking on camera, I now turned into an online coach. Now, in the future, if I decide to be a brain surgeon, well, eventually I don't have the brain surgeon title from when I'm just studying and doing it. Is eventually with the amount of repetitions, people just classify you as that. You get the title, you have the identity. That's what your actions are like. So that's why I need you to understand that you need to challenge who you are every single day because it's like a game. You start off at level 1, then you just keep on going up, and that's the beauty of it because there is no final destination. Being your best version is a never-ending game. The possibilities are endless, and that's what makes it so amazing. And that's why I love the capacity and the greatness that we have. And most people just they just accept average. Why would you accept anything less than being great? Not long ago, I didn't know how to speak Chinese. 现在我可以说中文. I can speak Chinese. I can now communicate with a vast majority of the world because I decided to 学中文. I decided to study Chinese. Now, what else can you do if you just set your mind to it? Oh, but you don't want to do it because it feels kind of weird. It feels kind of awkward. It's not like me. It doesn't feel natural. It's not meant to feel natural. It's meant to feel unnatural until it feels natural. You didn't just know how to go to your job and know what you're doing automatically. On your first day, oh, this feels weird. You kept on making similar mistakes. Now, if someone new was to join, you think, how can you keep on making these silly mistakes? This seems so easy. This is very simple. How do you keep on doing the same thing? But you were once that person. But what happened? You had to take on the identity of being the employee of where you are. Same thing. You didn't have the title straight away. It's within time because you currently do. Now, that's how you find your identity, by challenging everything that you do and ask yourself, why am I doing the thing that I'm doing? If you don't know, then that isn't your belief. That's why you can create the person that you want to be. If you were to be born in Jamaica, guess what? Now you speak patois. If you were to be born in Japan, guess what? You now speak Japanese. But why? Because your environment, because the things that have been passed on to you. The beauty of us is that we're a blank canvas, that we've been filled with information we've been painting on. But the beauty about paint is that you can renovate, you can create your own paint. And maybe you are exactly what you want to be. But that's why the key to life is living in true alignment with who you truly want to be, your true authentic self. There's a voice inside of you that tells you, I want to be doing this. I feel inspired by that. I want to do that. Do that. It's your calling. It's your vision. You have to protect it. There's a doctor for a reason. I've never wanted to be a doctor. There's a pilot for a reason. I've never wanted to be a pilot, but I have wanted to come on camera and do this. And that was my calling. Now, what is your calling? Are you going to just live a life that someone else wants you to live because they made this box for you and now you have to fit in this box? No. Become the circle. And then eventually people accept you for the circle. But you have to protect this vision. You have to convince yourself before you convince anyone else. Oh, it feels weird because now I feel like a fraud. No, this is the beauty of life. Growth. One day I didn't like grapes. Today I like grapes. You never a fraud. It was your absolute truth. So what is your absolute truth now? This you can change with the choice that you make today. So what are you deciding to do? That's the story that I wanted to share with you guys today. I hope you liked this video. If you did find it beneficial, put down in the comment section below what was your biggest takeaway. If you haven't already, like, subscribe, do all of that good stuff. See you in the next video. That's soon out. We do not miss.